Good morning and welcome to the Lake Washington School District State of the District event. I want to thank the Redmond High Jazz Band for welcoming to this space this morning. My name is John Holman, Superintendent here in Lake Washington. This morning I am here live at the home of the Mustangs, not Redmond High School, Margaret Mead Elementary in Sammamish, Washington. We have a large district spanning 74 square miles on the east side of Lake Washington. So from Sammamish, Washington this morning, I want to welcome our community leaders from Kirkland, Juanita, Redmond, and Sammamish. All across this great district, we have community partners, business leaders, and elected officials here today to welcome and recognize our students and their student success. Our partners truly help our district be a great place for our students, our families, and a great place to live and learn. I want to specifically recognize our board of directors that were able to be present this morning. President Eric LaLiberty, Director Cassandra Sage, Director Siri Bleasner, and Vice President Mark Stewart. Thank you all for participating and being here today. And I also want to recognize this school board as a 2021 Board of Distinction. Why are we here today? Today we are here to recognize the success of students in Lake Washington School District. Our core mission is about graduating students, and our vision is about preparing students to be future ready. So this whole event is focused around our students. We know that within our strategic plan, we have very specific goals that we want to achieve for our students. When we think about academic success, it's about applying quality programs and services for every student in the district, focusing on well-being, ensuring that our students, our staff, our families have the ability to be well and whole, because we know that is primary in learning. Community engagement, a goal focused on ensuring that we are truly partnering with those in our community that can elevate the success of our students. Identifying excellent staff here in the district, because we know to achieve high goals within our district, we need to have excellent staff to be able to provide the services and supports for our students. And finally, our fifth goal within our strategic plan is the effective use of resources. We know that as a public agency, we have to use our resources wisely to accomplish the excellence that we know that our students deserve, that we expect for our students, that our family expects for our students, and that our community expects of our school district. As you know, as a school district, we've been responding to the pandemic for over 20 months now. And through that, our staff, our students, our families have demonstrated significant resiliency. Whether it was closing school down early in March of 2020, whether it was starting remote school in September of 2020, or whether it was transitioning back to in-person learning while some peers actually stayed in a remote setting last year. And then this year, where we welcomed all students back to in-person learning, but also offered a remote option for students that did want to continue in that space. Resiliency has been primary in our ability to be able to transition and move through this pandemic. One of the things I've thought a lot about is the idea of coming back strong. I just want to recognize all of us for continuing to work through all of the challenges and coming back strong for our students, because we know that our students need us in these times. And then challenges. Thinking about supporting the ongoing challenges within the school district. We thought last year was difficult. This year has been equally as difficult as we transition our students back, some of them not being in school for about 18 months. That's challenging for our students, the social emotional well-being, understanding what it means to be a student. And it's taken all of us to be able to support that, and continuing to support our staff as they transition back and as they are continuing to provide services and supports for our students that maybe we never have before. And so responding to the pandemic has been primary in our work over the last 20 months. Even through all of these challenges, we've continued to focus on key strategic efforts. Concepts such as inclusion, including students in their schools, in their classrooms, ensuring that all students have access to core instruction has been important to us as we really think about the long-term goals we have for all students in Lake Washington School District. Focusing on systems that actually support staff's ability to be able to respond to students. We call that a multi-tiered systems of support. This is something that, again, is long-term work, because we know as we build systems with fidelity, we can respond to students in the long term. And then our commitment to equity, ensuring that our staff continue their professional learning in regards to equity, making sure that we continue to focus on our own core work of ensuring that all students have access, they feel supported in their classrooms, and that they're seen in their schools, because we know that leads to student success. As a district, we will have 3 levy measures on the February 8th, 2022 ballot. Again, this is a very important point in time for us because we know that through community support of our levies, that these can truly help us provide the excellence in education that our students deserve. These three measures will continue to provide funding for student programs and services, our technology and facility maintenance programs, and also to continue to provide construction levy dollars so that we can provide classrooms for our students, knowing that we are in a rapidly growing area and that continuing to focus on the needs of our construction and capacity across our district is critically important. Over the next 30 minutes, we will share recently recorded videos to highlight student success here in Lake Washington School District. The first video we have to share with you is brought to you by Associate Superintendent Mike Van Orden. He will spend some time in our Early Learning Center at Old Redmond Schoolhouse. Director Kim Brenner and her team will provide insights into the center and our commitment to early childhood education. I hope you enjoy this morning, and I thank our students for their voice in this space.
All right, friends, let's have a seat. Good morning. I make friendship soup though, and I brought it. Are you guys ready to help me pick a friend?
Old Redmond Schoolhouse opened last fall in August of 2020, and it brought us from a site that was on the Dickinson Elementary campus, as well as a variety of other locations around the district, to have a really centralized early learning center.
What's your name?
We do still have preschool at 5 other satellite elementary schools, and that's due to just needing the space, but also the distance and the size of our district doesn't allow for one central location to be the most efficient for our families.
It's going to be an acorn. Nice work, friend.
We have 3 distinct programs in our preschool that we offer to students ranging from ages 3 to 5 years old. The first program that we have is our Head Start program, and that serves our families who qualify for an early childhood preschool program based on their income. Our largest program is our Inclusion Preschool, or it's oftentimes called our Ready Start Preschool. We have 16 classrooms across the district that have both AM and PM sessions. Half of the students are students who have an IEP. They've been identified as having a delay in one or more areas. And then the other half of every classroom is reserved for our tuition-paying community peers.
Let's get the glee.
Our third program that we have is our SNAPS program, and SNAPS stands for Students Needing Additional Programming Support. That program specifically serves our kids with autism in a very structured and intentional way.
You mentioned inclusive programming and inclusion. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inclusion is and what the value of inclusion is to students and families?
Inclusion is just really ensuring that all students, regardless of their disability or regardless of any exceptionality, has access to a high quality, age-appropriate curriculum. We know that kids at this age learn primarily from modeling and imitation. And so when you think about something like communication, for example, if a student is delayed in communication, or if several students in a classroom are delayed in communication, having those students who have typically developing communication in the classroom that they can learn from, that can provide them with that modeling and provide them with that form of imitation, that is what we know is how students at this age learn the best.
So we're sitting here in this beautiful new Old Redmond Schoolhouse. Can you talk a little bit about how the facilities support some of the programming that you described?
We are so fortunate to be in this building, and it was a long time coming. What's incredible about this building is how thoughtful a lot of the spaces were created for our students in mind. Specifically thinking about our 2 different motor rooms that we have that allow for a lot of sensory support and gross motor support for our students. The classrooms are all really thoughtfully designed with lots of natural light, lots of muted colors, so it's not an overstimulating environment for any of our students. There are shared bathrooms in between every 2 classrooms that just really helps our staff to be able to make sure that they're able to keep tending to students' needs while still managing and operating their classroom at the same time.
And we know COVID has had an impact on schools. Can you talk a little bit about how you're working to keep students safe here at Old Redmond Schoolhouse?
Our new building came with a new HVAC system, new ventilation systems, beautiful big windows that open up and really, makes sure that the air quality that we have in our building is of the safest quality for our kids. We're really diligent in screening our students when they're at school, making sure that any students who are exhibiting symptoms are staying home until those symptoms are resolved or until a COVID test guarantees us that they are safe to be at school. While doing that definitely has an impact on kids' attendance, it also overall ensures that we can keep as many students in school as long as possible and keep them safe. So last year we were fortunate to be able to serve some of our students in person, but we had to serve a very limited amount of students. This year it really feels like our official first year, even though we were operating last year, being able to have every staff member in person here, being able to have all of our students in person for their full programming and not have any abbreviated programs running, has just been, it feels like there's a lot of life in this building and a lot of joy happening in every classroom.
Our students and staff at the Old Redmond Schoolhouse are tremendous. And thank you to our facilities and construction team for the renovation of the Old Redmond Schoolhouse so that we could once again have students learning in that beautiful facility. We are so proud to have students learning at the Old Redmond Schoolhouse. Our next video comes to you from the Lake Washington High School. Associate Superintendent Matt Gillingham provides you a look into the school. Principal Christine Bell does some interviewing of students about their social emotional health as they transition back to in-person learning this year.
Hi, I'm Matt Gillingham, Associate Superintendent, and I'm here at Lake Washington High School, standing in front of the new addition to the school. We're about to go inside and meet with Christine Bell, principal of Lake Washington High School, as she talks with students about what it means to come back and find community.
Okay.
It's an honor to be here with you today in our common area of the North Wing, our new wing here at the school. And I have a student here with me, and she is going to tell you her full name, what grade she's in, and the clubs, activities, sports that she's involved in here at Lake Washington.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Fithian. I'm a sophomore, and I'm involved in the LW swim team. I'm a member of the Junior States of America Club, and I'm in Link Crib.
So I have a question for you today. How has your school supported you both during the pandemic and since we returned to in-person learning when it comes to connecting and forming communities that help you thrive?
Well, online, it's clear that students' social and emotional health really suffered, but coming back into the building, it's really evident the emphasis that the school is placing on building community and increasing social emotional health. I've been a part of a panel for social, emotional, and mental health programming at LW for the past few months, and we've talked a lot about building community and opening up discussions about mental health. So the school is doing an amazing job of reflecting what students need in their programming and activities, and this all has yielded a successful transition back.
My name is Drew Fiallo. I'm a junior here at LW, and I am the tennis team captain. I am the King News leader here at LW, and I'm involved with our school's ASB leadership group, and I'm a part of our Link crew.
Well, thank you again for being here. I have a question for you. How has your school supported you both during the pandemic and since we returned to in-person learning?
Right, so at the beginning of the pandemic, when we first went remote, I felt really disconnected from my peers and teachers. And so I think I was really missing that during the pandemic and during remote school. And so when we returned back to school, I was really happy to see that we were able to see each other face to face and form a real connection and meet a ton of new people and form new groups. And I think that's the best thing here about LW is that we really have a space for everyone and that our community is great, and I'm just really glad to be a part of it.
My name is Mikey Quintana. I'm a senior here. I'm involved with our ASB, such as I'm a president for ASB. I'm also involved in ACLU, and I was a Link leader.
How has your school supported you both during the pandemic and since the return to in-person learning when it comes to connecting you with communities to help you thrive?
Online school, of course, had a lot of roadblocks, especially with communication. And our teachers and staff encouraged us all to communicate and speak up, which I did. And once I did communicate with my teachers, they put all hands on deck to make sure I dig myself out of the hole, which was amazing. And I succeeded a lot that last year. But coming back to in-person school, they felt like communicating was so important. And we seemed to do that here at LW. I was a part of Link Crew, which I took a bunch of freshmen under my wing. I showed them around the school, exposed them to our community, and now I see them involved in many different clubs. I love seeing them around the halls. It's cool just seeing them explore our community. As well, we had a student panel, which our teachers had questions for students. Getting the opportunity to be on the student panel was great. I loved it. It's awesome seeing how involved our teachers and admin, our staff wants to be, that they had questions for us, and being able to answer those questions, to be a voice for the student body was the most amazing experience ever. And I feel like we made a lot of progress towards equitable grading and just better grading practices that fits all of our students' needs.
My name is Emma Bochter. I'm a senior here at LW, and I play basketball for the school as well as being involved in ASB and clubs like King News.
How has your school supported you both during the pandemic and since we returned to in-person learning when it comes to connecting and forming communities to help you thrive?
Yeah, so being a student at LW this year, I've really noticed the emphasis from our staff on connecting on a personal level with the student body and kind of checking in more on their mental health and their home lives, and having that be the focus rather than just letter grades and missing assignments, and rather focusing on why those things may be happening than just a surface level communication. I've also noticed as a leader here that through our leadership work this year, we focused a lot more on being equitable and how we can reach many different diverse groups at our school, because since we do attend such a diverse school, we want to be able to reach as many groups as possible through our events and our resources.
I'm Annalie Hahn, and I'm a senior this year. Some of the clubs that I'm a part of are the ASB, as well as the Diversity Action Team and the Asian American Pacific Islander Coalition. Last year I was involved in Pouch, and I'm also in DECA this year.
All right, so it sounds like you're involved in a lot of different groups here. How has that involvement supported you both during the pandemic and then as we've returned to in-person learning when it comes to connecting to communities that help you to thrive?
I'd say that it's being part of all those clubs and communities has really played a super huge important role in my experience at LW. Being a new student last year, it was especially difficult being in online school since I couldn't see any teachers or peers face to face. But being in those clubs and meeting regularly really helped me feel like I was part of the community. Especially this year, now that we're in person, I've really loved being part of ASB and the Asian American Club, as well as Diversity Action Team, to work with other peers about things that I really care about, like promoting inclusivity and diversity at our school.
How do you use collaborative learning spaces such as this new one in the North Wing to help support you in your classes and working with other students?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed being in this North building for my math classes, where I've been able to use this outside area to work with other students on assignments or just studying together. Also, the Asian American Club meets here every week, and we've just really enjoyed having the space to do activities and games that would require more space, and also using the smart board technology and things like that.
Thank you so much to our students and to Principal Bell for sharing their stories with us.
As you can see, we have tremendous students here in Lake Washington. The voices of our students at Lake Washington High School do truly represent the experiences of students all across our district. Thank you to those students that took time. Thank you, Principal Bell, for sitting down with our students and digging into their social emotional health and well-being and what it takes for them to feel seen, valued, and whole in your school. The next video comes to you from Einstein Elementary. Assistant Superintendent Dale Cody spent some time with Principal Robin Imai and Associate Principal Julian Cortez as they dig into and learn about the dual language program that we started just a few years ago and is continuing to transition through the grades at Einstein Elementary. I think you'll enjoy this.
Hi everyone, my name is Dale Cody. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of School Support Services here for the Lake Washington School District. I'm excited to be at Einstein Elementary School, where we house our dual language program. I would like to introduce the principal at Einstein Elementary School, Robin Imai, and the associate principal, Julian Cortez.
Well, the program has been at Einstein for the past 3 years. It is currently a kindergarten through 4th grade program, but starting next year, it will be kindergarten through 5th grade. Right now, it is an 80% in Spanish, 20% in English in kindergarten and 1st grade. And starting in about 2nd grade, it is 50-50, meaning 50% of the time is in Spanish and 50% of the time is English. We have both native Spanish speakers and native English speakers in the program.
So hi Julian, just tell us a little bit about the benefits of the dual language program here at Einstein.
Yeah, there's many benefits for both our native Spanish speaking students as well as our native English speaking students, and I think a lot of them surround culture. For our native Spanish speaking students, this is the first time that they're able to receive instruction for many of them in their home language, and so it gives them a good foundational base for them to succeed in both languages. And then for our English speaking students, it gives them exposure to other cultures and obviously other languages.
Su tema principal, los otros tres van a ser de...
We're noticing that many of our students who come in not speaking English or having only Spanish as their home language, it eases the transition for them to be able to have at least part of the day in their home language. We've noticed that lately with a couple of students who have arrived and we've been able to place into the program. They have no English roots or limited English proficiency. They come in and they're able to navigate the day a little bit easier when they can do it in both languages.
Quiero que lean su libro.
I get the honor of introducing Esther Nicholas as one of the instructors here in the dual language program. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of the dual language program, both for our native speaking students as well as our English speaking students.
I think the benefits for our native Spanish speaking students as well as our native English speaking students is giving them the opportunity of learning a new language, being able to interact with peers in a different language and learn from peers in that language. I think as they continue in the dual language program, it offers them several opportunities as they grow, just knowing 2 languages, Spanish and English.
I'd like to introduce Larissa Ruiz, an instructional assistant here in the dual language program. Larissa, what's your favorite part about the dual language program?
Bueno, me encanta ver el progreso y el desarrollo de los niños y la capacidad que tienen de aprender 2 idiomas al mismo tiempo y a distinguir y a aprender nuevas palabras con la facilidad con que lo hacen. Ellos absorben como si fueran esponjas y no distinguen muchas veces entre un idioma y otro y saben hacerlo perfectamente en un idioma o en otro. Y es increíble lo que la cantidad de oportunidades que eso les da a ellos para el futuro.
And I'd like to introduce Amy Silverman, one of the original staff members for the dual language program, has been here for 4 years. Amy, tell us the successes you've seen over these 4 years.
Well, I think one of the most exciting things I've seen is really students growing in their confidence, both in their English and their Spanish. We have some students that are learning English, Spanish, and a home language. And I've watched those kids grow from being nervous and apprehensive about using both English and Spanish in the classroom to really feeling confident. I have a new student who just moved here from Central America, and I watched this boy this week who wasn't confident in English or Spanish. He was a Japanese speaker. At home, start translating into Spanish for this new student. So just seeing the ability of kids to really bring both English and Spanish to the forefront and just be excited about how they can help kids and communicate in different languages.
So Robin, tell us a little bit about what you've seen over these last few years and what are some of the successes you've witnessed?
We've really seen a great increase in our students' skills in both speaking and learning in Spanish.
Al mono le gusta
but also writing and doing other subjects in Spanish. We have really found that while students are learning a language right at the beginning, by about second or third grade, they really take off in their skills and their learning. We're just so proud of our students and their accomplishments.
This is a choice school program where a lottery is held to determine the attendees of this program. For more information, please visit our website.
Thank you to the team out at Einstein Elementary for everything you're doing for our students, for implementing and working through all of the challenges with the dual language program, but implementing it with fidelity for our students. Principal Imai, Associate Principal Cortez, thank you for your leadership in that. Next, we go to Rosa Parks Elementary. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Joy Ross joins Principal Melissa Doring in a celebration. Rosa Parks Elementary, the only school in the state of Washington to win a Blue Ribbon School Award this year. We're tremendously proud of Rosa Parks, and we're so excited to celebrate this amazing accomplishment with you. I think you'll enjoy this as well. Dr. Ross, please join us at Rosa Parks.
Hello, my name is Joy Ross, and I am the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources for the Lake Washington School District. And today I am not at the central office. I get to be at Rosa Parks Elementary School. Lots that we can tell you about Rosa Parks, but today we're celebrating Rosa Parks Elementary School just being awarded a Blue Ribbon Award. Very prestigious award. Come on inside and let's meet our principal and find out about Rosa Parks.
So would trees be closer to lowland or be closer to the size of highland?
Rosa Parks Elementary School is a school that has just a really rich history.
Fantastic. All right.
Our school was opened in 2006, and since then we have just been dedicated to the arts.
What's one more than 12?
Finding ways to connect students with school if academics aren't their strong suit. We've had drama programs, visual art programs, mixed media art. That's all supported by our amazing parent community, and we embrace a whole child philosophy here at Rosa Parks Elementary School. And so when I think about my staff and the decisions we make and where we put our priorities, it always comes back to what is best for kids.
We absolutely love this school. The teachers, as she said, are super awesome. They're really committed to their students. The administration here is really supportive. The students here, if you're walking around the building, they're really kind and caring. They're always treating each other with respect.
We all follow Puma Way by P, positive attitude, U, understanding and caring, M, making respectful and responsible choices, A, always doing our best to grow, and S, safe.
All the values that they learn, as he was telling, the Puma values, is something that the kids get to learn and they live about it, and then it's reflected everywhere. So that's something we are really proud of, and we always think about it when we are talking about Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks Elementary School having won a Blue Ribbon Award. What comes to mind for you?
To me, it's a wonderful accomplishment. I'm so proud of our community, and I'm just thrilled to be able to be the leader of such a dynamic school environment. The biggest thing for me is just the incredible amount of work that our students and our families put in, and our staff. Really just bending over backwards, making sure that kids are learning, and if they're not learning, persevering and making sure that they're understanding, and for our kids who are excelling, really challenging them to think deeper and more critically and problem solve.
It is such a big honor to have received that award. Like, our school works really hard to make sure that every kid get what they need to learn here.
Our administration and our teachers believe, just as Rosa Parks believe, that we're not done yet. We have so much more to grow, so much more to learn. And we are aptly named Rosa Parks because she would also recognize that we have hit an amazing milestone, but we're not done yet.
Alexander, what number comes after 10?
When I think about our school and what is at the heart, what is the heartbeat of our school, it really is that partnership between our staff and our families to support our students. And really, they're the most important thing. And
one thing is that I like the teachers. They're really nice. The specialists are fun. Like, music, library, and PE. They just like help you learn and try to make things better.
Here at Rosa Parks Elementary School, we love talking about just all of our diverse voices, and so I want the library to reflect those. So we have a really diverse student body, and I want to make sure that kids are seeing themselves in the books that I'm selecting and in what they're reading, as well as giving them opportunities to see kids and characters in the wider world.
You have 1 minute. Mrs. Rosa Parks was a visionary of her time where she foresaw a better future for all students and children, and our children will grow up and they're going to shape the world that we live in. And I'm just so proud of how we are graduating our kids to be civically minded, to be activists, to advocate for themselves and for others. And really, to me, that is a measure of success.
To be named a Blue Ribbon School means an entire community has come together to support student learning and student excellence. Congratulations, Rosa Parks Elementary and the whole community there for that accomplishment. Next, we go to Juanita High School. Associate Superintendent Barbara Posthumus visits the theater, and theater teacher Elizabeth McMurray Hawk. And this is all about finding ways for students to connect, because we know that as students find a way to connect with peers and adults within their school, we know that leads to future success.
I'm Barbara Posthumus, Associate Superintendent of Business and Support Services. We're here at the newly rebuilt Juanita High School. Come join us as we go behind the scenes and talk to students who are working on a new production.
Welcome to what I like to call Year One, the Puffs and the sorcerer's attempt at earning points and making friends.
We are currently producing the off-Broadway production of Puffs. And I have over 100 students,
except my aunt,
at Juanita High School that's been involved with the show.
Just so we're clear, I'm not like you, any of you. So leave me alone.
I get students from every corner of the school. There's no particular type of drama student.
I really appreciate it. Very independent and awesome.
It's a strong community of 9th through 12th graders.
I wanted to change my life, like in 9th grade. I was very academically driven and I just wanted a change of pace.
You come into drama and everyone wanted to talk to you. It's a very welcoming community.
I really love the community, and the people here are so supportive. They get to, they kind of understand me, and we all have this bond of creativity.
Do you have any other quick change issues?
Yes.
The theater, the facility, the place gives them a home to figure out who they are and what their place is in the world. And we all know that as theater teachers. This is something they'll remember for the rest of their lives and they'll use for the rest of their lives. Let me try this. The theater programs are a way to help students to collaborate in a world that touches about every other academic world that's out there.
Our control in who we are as people and who we are in this space is so vital to our learning in Juanita, and just the people who allow us to explore that here, I think is the reason why I continue to stay and continue to flourish here.
We're very busy in the theater program. It's a career and technical based program with a lot of exploration into new learning constantly.
We are not the best.
My main role, at least at this point, is I'm the rigger. I've never done anything like it. The equipment, it's very complex. There's a bunch of pulleys and stuff that allow you to lower in the sets and raise it, and it's super cool. Nothing I ever thought I'd be working with.
So it's official. The next 7 years are gonna suck.
For Puffs production, I am in charge of lighting, and so we get to light all the actors, and we get to put different colors on them and direct where the audience will look. Technology is amazing. It's a lot, but using this technology, we get to do so much on stage, and we get to design and sculpt this production into a whole new level.
Everyone, calm down. We're safe in our basement.
The professionality here is really big. There's a big emphasis on deadlines and being really efficient.
This is such an interesting year because it always is amazing for kids to be in programs like the theater programs, the choir programs, the band programs. But this year they were just starving to be able to do something creative, move out their bodies, to be able to explore ideas together.
It's up to all of the points. This is it, Oliver. The points are how we become heroes.
I love working and seeing an idea go from page to stage. And eventually it opens up to the audience because everything we're doing is that connection, that storytellers. Don't tell a story without people to tell a story to.
My wizard god! I just realized how pathetic that is.
Ouch. Self-esteem.
It's just like, come on, Mom, break out of wizard prison already and come rescue me from this.
The space itself is meant for the community, right? That's what theater is. So there'll be so many different groups that use this space. It's gotten off to a slow start because of the pandemic.
Huh. A dark wizard!
There are some students who will go on to be actors or directors or work in the industry, but everybody's learning transferable skills that will make them better at everything they do, as well as just stronger, richer human beings.
Trying to learn my dark, evil secrets?
No, we were just trying to find you, to protect you.
I think it's really important that we have good people who really care about the students and who care about the program itself to carry it forward, and I think Mac is just such a great person for that.
Where? I want it!
I really like being part of something that I get to create and add to, and it's so much more than what I could have done like individually. I get to be here with so many great people, and together we can put together something so amazing as this production.
It brings so much joy to spend some time with our students in the theater. We know that it takes a whole community to make one of those productions actually successful. When you think about the acting, the students that are running the rigging systems, the lighting, the sound, it takes a whole community to come together. Thank you to the team out at Juanita High School for supporting our students, and really all across our district for supporting our students in ways that are meaningful to them. The next stop and our final stop today is Evergreen Middle School. Assistant Superintendent Sally Askman visits with Principal Christian Dahl, talking about how technology truly has supported Evergreen over the last 20 months in the pandemic, but also to support student learning.
Hello, I'm Sally Askman, the Assistant Superintendent of Technology and Information Services. We're here at Evergreen Middle School. Today we're going to meet with Principal Christian Dahl, who will tell us how he's utilizing technology to help with some of the aspects of managing COVID-related activities and responsibilities. And then we're going to take a peek into the classroom, where children are developing remarkable things to help other students. Before we go inside, I wanted to share with you about the district's massive technology footprint. We support over 2,000 classrooms with standard teaching technology. We have 40,000 laptops in the hands of staff and students. We also manage over 200 plus digital curriculum applications for learning and 40 business systems that keep the district running. And all of this is transacted over a 75-mile private fiber network that provides wired and wireless access to our students and staff. Now, let's go inside and take a look at all the great things going on at Evergreen Middle School. We all know that COVID has had a dramatic impact on the management of the school and on your staff and on your students. Can you tell us how technology may have helped you manage that impact?
Oh my goodness, technology's had a huge impact to support us. Thankfully before COVID hit, we were able to put these projection screens in all of our conference rooms. So allowing us the opportunity then to be able to meet virtually, to be able to have data to be able to share in real time rather than I have it printed off, and we know how data changes so quickly. To be able to have that real-time data has been so helpful in our planning and our preparation and the things that we're doing here at the school.
Last year, when kids returned to school, There were some monitoring and management challenges for buildings to get the kids in quickly.
We had 3 to 4 different access points for students, and in each one of those access points we had scanners, we had our Skyward system up and running, so that way students could get in all 4 of those access points. And so we're able to, when we were up and running, in less than 10 minutes have all 800 of our students back into the building to start each day. With that, the technology that we had and the wireless structure that we have within the school, we wouldn't have been able to do it as efficiently as we did. Students coming in, they had to verify that they were symptom-free of COVID. And so in order to do that, a lot of families would log into Skyward, which is our family access point, and they would check, yes, my student is symptom-free, they do not have a temperature, I'm verifying or attesting to their health.
What is another way that you've leveraged technology to help with the impact of COVID in your school?
When we last year had students coming back into the building, we were forcing students to sit 6 feet apart from each other, really have no social interaction because of COVID, because when they were eating, they had to have their masks off. And so we thought to ourselves, how do we keep students engaged for 30 full minutes and not have chaos happening? We have a monitor system in our commons, and so what we're able to do is we actually ended up showing movies to students. And so we would do, requests by students, and what we found is that it just took the edge off. They were having to sit, they weren't able to socialize as much, and being able to have the ability to sit back and kind of enjoy the lunchtime while being distracted by a movie was really impactful.
When you get to the point where you're going to start making your Pride post?
Over the last couple of years, our CTE teacher, Bob Kaneko, has really invested his time in learning how these 3D printers are running and what to do and some of the projects for our kids.
Doing any revisions on the current finger basketball.
What you got to see today was the work of 2 students trying to figure out how can we help other students.
There's a certain child which had a problem with pincer grasp, like grasping something like this with their 2 pincers.
So we actually have a couple students with cerebral palsy, and they're working on their fine motor skills. And so what that was kind of the creation of how do we help students develop their fine motor skills.
The rubber band, as you can see, it's still kind of a work in progress.
And so you saw that a student would have to pinch a small slingshot, moving it or trying to slingshot it towards a basketball hoop, so they had to have direction, they had to have stability.
So we used an online modeling software called Tinkercad, and we just used multiple tools from Tinkercad, and we just designed it, and it ended up pretty well.
Another way of making our dreams become a reality.
It's an opportunity for students to not only be creative, but to also help other students in need. And they were super excited about the project, as you could see. Not only did they enjoy watching the process of it being built, but then afterwards they could see, oh, I don't know if that was just right. Let me try and fix it. And so they're actually in the redesign phase as we were in there. And so they're trying to figure out now, how can they make it even better for our kids?
Thank you, Principal Dahl, and all of the staff out at Evergreen Middle School for what you're doing for students and demonstrating how technology truly has helped you through this time and how you're using it in unique and innovative ways to achieve student success. These were just some of the ways that our students have experienced success throughout our district. We know that there's many more examples of students experiencing success all across our district in each and every school. As I wrap up, we are fortunate to hear the sounds of children in the background as students are truly coming to school here at Margaret Mead Elementary to begin their school day. I want to thank you for spending time with us today. Thank you for your role in leading this community. I hope this provided you with some insights about what's happening here in Lake Washington. We appreciate your support for Lake Washington. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.